Hi everyone, it's Elaine Hamilton Grundy from the Reiki Centre. And today I'd like to maybe bring a little clarity or maybe just a different perspective around what we're feeling in 2020, particularly around this new earth energy that is very definitely coming into our experience now and has probably been causing a little bit of anxiety, even more so than at the beginning. And I think also there's this sense that everything with COVID, it's going on, and now some people are looking into 2021 as a possibility for it to be ongoing and this new normal, and a lot of anxiety around, well, what do I do? What am I supposed to do next? I've been reading and listening to a lot of other people talking about the timeline and talking about what's happening with the new earth energy. Some people are referring to it as moving into the 5D, the fifth dimension. And all of these, there are certain truths that I resonate with, and then there's certain things that they talk about that I don't resonate with at all. So these are all just analogies. This is what's important for you to know for yourself. There is no one truth about what's going on. These are all just concepts. Because what is actually happening is beyond a concept. So our minds are grabbing on to certain philosophies or viewpoints and then trying to make it concrete. And it's just not possible. Nothing is concrete. So this is one of the things that I would like to just point out is that this so-called new timeline or the new earth energy, whatever you'd like to call it, it's not new in terms of has never been felt or seen before. It is more a shift in perspective. So it's like universal life force is everything. It's universal source is everything. It's all encompassing. And humanity has been operating at a certain frequency for thousands of years. And every couple of thousands of years, we have like this kind of huge burst of spiritual energy that comes in the past, like 2,000 years ago, it was kind of Jesus Christ, and then 2,000 years previous, it was Buddha. And so there was these incredible avatars that come in and shake things up and really shift the way humanity looks at certain things. And 2020, it's not a person, it's a virus. But it's the same shift in consciousness that is happening right now. And it's happening on an unprecedented level because we are all connected. We're all connected by the fact that this virus is global. It's not just impacting a few countries, it's impacting everybody. So from that point of view, this is a very extraordinary time that we're living in and different from the other iconic shifts in consciousness that we've experienced in the past. And obviously there's been many, many other little shifts that have been happening along the way. Now, one of the things that I'm noticing, which may be of help, is this shortening of the ability to plan. Now, that might seem obvious because how can we plan for next year? We have no idea what's going on. But we are still trying to. So there's a lot of anxiety around the fact that you can't plan, rather than an acceptance that actually that is the way it's meant to be. We are not meant to be planning into the future anymore, not at this moment. Who knows what will happen in the future, but right at this moment, the call is to become very present. And to be honest, that's always been the call. To be present in ourselves and to come into that stillness, and from that stillness then listen to life's purpose, life's calling. But in the past we've got away with not listening to that and pushing our ego agendas. Now what's interesting is that with this whole pandemic, we have now been forced, literally forced, to stop the excuses and to stop the ego agendas and to come into the stillness once again. One, we're forced to do it because we can't plan. And two, it's happening on a global scale. So the ramifications, the manifestations of this is anybody's guess. It's amazing, actually. So for us as individuals, the way that we can experience that is to really come into that deep stillness that is within us. And you can do this through your Reiki practice. You can do this through meditation, mindfulness, whatever it is that's kind of grabbing your attention at the moment. When you come into that stillness, you will be able to feel the well-being. So there's a well-being, there's like a perfect unfolding process, there's just a feeling and a sense of all is perfectly fine. Now, from that, you will then get an indication of what to do next. Now, it's not what to do next month or even next year or plan your holiday. It's what to do in this very moment next. And it might be as simple as get up, go take a shower, eat some dinner, clean the fridge. Or it might be an inspiration for a new project or the beginning of a conversation with somebody or an email that may open up something else and something else and something else. So the taking of the first step is what will then highlight the one after. So the way that we're moving now is very, very different. Now, some of you may have been moving like this already, right? You're not great planners. You've always been in the present moment. So for you, there's not going to be that much difference. But for many of us, and I include myself in this category, I've always been like a great planner. Like one of my favorite things to do with the Reiki Center was our annual ideal scene, where we would sit and we would write what was going to happen in the next year. Now, that was very valid in the years that we did it. And my feeling now is that that has come and gone. So now the moment by moment, the ideal scene is literally moment by moment. What is my perfect ideal scene for the next moment? What do I do in the next moment? So it builds this trust. Well, you have to trust, but first of all, you have to experience. So you just try it out. And even if you say, okay, you know what, I'm going to try this out and see how it goes, try it out and just feel into it. Does it work? If you just take one step in front of the other, does the next step then come to you? And you will notice that it does. It's slowing everything down, which is ironic because many of us are also feeling the kind of acceleration of time. There's an acceleration of time, and paradoxically, there's this slowing down of time too. So we're living in a very paradoxical time at the moment as things are kind of moving and shifting, and the frequencies that we are inhabiting now have changed. So if you follow like the Schumann resonance, we've always been around I think it was like 6.7 hertz or something like this, and now we're right up there in kind of 50, 60, 70 hertz. So we have jumped tenfold what we are used to moving through. Now, that jump in consciousness is not only affecting time, it is also affecting our ability to be in the present moment. So you might also have noticed that actually you can feel the stillness a lot more easily than you used to be able to. And it's not only because you've got more time or more peace and quiet, it's actually more available. The shift that we've experienced in terms of our vibrational, again, if you think about it in terms of 3D, 4D, 5D, then by moving into the 5D energies, what is actually happening is we are accessing a completely new range of vibrational tools. Now, some of those tools will already be in your Reiki practice. You might notice that you're being attracted to different tools as well. Or you might just notice that the tools that you have always been using are somehow gaining strength or shifting. So I've noticed for myself that I am using my Reiki tools very differently, and I am kind of bringing into a different level of awareness a lot of my meditation tools as well. So I've been meditating for years, but now suddenly I'm being called to meditate more, meditate longer, and it's easier. I'm able to sort through the different layers of my own personal vibration. I can see more clearly my thoughts, and also that my thoughts don't define me. I can see more clearly my emotions, that they also don't define me, my physical body. And this isn't, I'm not just talking that I'm able to see all this stuff. This is my experience and everybody else's experience around me too. So when you really kind of start to come into what are these new superpowers, because that's what they are, right? We're shifting into a whole new frequency. And that's not to say that it's been bestowed upon us and suddenly, it's actually just because as humanity we are elevating, we are growing, we are evolving. And as we evolve and grow, what that allows us to do is to access these different tools. And so through that access, the question really to ask yourself is, what am I being called to do? And one of the things to also notice, and this again has always been true, but is much more obvious now, is that each and every one of us also vibrates at a very personal level. You could call it your life purpose, your life journey, your life path, whatever. Each of us are on our own unique one. Now, this is not news, but it seems to be extremely obvious now that some of us are meant to be very active in this whole time. If you look at the first responders, you look at the people on the front lines, you look at the people that are doing the deliveries, or those that are involved in the boom industries at the moment, they are highly active and they're out there and they're just working their butts off. And then there's others who are in the industries that have been closed down or that are no longer able to work. They must work from home, or in certain industries like the entertainment industry or the tourist industry where it's just closed. Now, all along the spectrum of the old, there are some that are really moving and growing. There are others that are stuck. They're closed, but they're not finished yet. And then there are those that really, they're done. They're never going to recover the way that they were. And it's important for you to know where you are. Like, where are you? And it's not about just sitting and waiting for the thing to be over, because it's not going to be over. It's moving, it's evolving. And are you evolving with it? So this moment by moment thing that I'm talking about is in combination with an honesty and a realism that comes from truly moving with what's happening as well. So that might mean for some of you that you really truly need to look at reskilling or shifting your careers or looking at different opportunities. So when you come into that stillness, you can also come into the reality of where you are and what is your vibration calling forth. And for some of us, it is to sit and meditate and hold space. And then for others, it's to be very active and to be very expansive. And then for others yet, it is to be creative, to be thinking about, well, what are some of these new solutions that we need for this new future? So the whole spread is something that is, it's really changing. It's very dynamic. It's full of opportunities. This movement is really alive. And when you sit and you meditate, or you're joining in with Reiki sending or whatever it is you're doing in order to access that quiet stillness within you, you will see it's literally bubbling over. So again, a paradox. It's deeply still, And at the same time, you can feel there is an aliveness and an energy around it. And as I said, this is nothing new. This has always been present, but it is being noticed and it is being accessed by the entire global population. And that is something new. So this is where we are now in terms of these old kind of abilities that every now and again someone will dip into. If you want to call like an awake or enlightened seeker, now it's being accessed and dipped into by the millions. And this in and of itself makes for an incredibly interesting movement to happen, because when you've got millions of people dipping into this deep stillness and accessing the creative potential of that, you have to have a paradigm shift. You have to, because when everybody is stepping forwards into the unknown together, then by definition, it is a paradigm shift. So I'm not sure if this helps or if this just creates more confusion. The takeaway really from all the blah, blah, blahing is to really spend time in your quiet center. And whether that's joining a meditation group, we have a very powerful community group that meets every week in the container, which is in the information below this video. And the whole purpose of this group is to really come into that very deep center. We hold it for each other. Now, when you can access this deep center, then the next step will become known to you. And then the next step, and then the next step, and so on. And you can't get it wrong when you're operating from that space. It's not possible to get it wrong. So I hope that helps, and I hope that maybe it sheds some clarity on why you can't plan too far into the future if you've been trying to do that, and just to just relax into it. No one can plan into the future at the moment, so you're not alone. So I hope that's helped, and thank you so much for listening. Take care.